Good to have you back with us on this Tuesday edition, Ed Schultz News and Commentary. You can dial in right now. This is Ed Schultz Facebook Live. The number is there at the bottom of your screen at 202-909-1492 and 202-909-1493. If you have been against the health care bill and against repeal, this is a big day for you. And if I may, this is a big day in our household. My wife has been battling cancer for the last 6 years. And when we heard that they were talking about lifetime caps, we're pretty nervous. When we were hearing that they were talking about pre-existing conditions, we were really nervous. And I can only imagine how many millions of people have been so fearful that the Republicans were going to deep six the Affordable Health Care, Obamacare, which would have stripped away all of the provisions that protect sick people. And we're in that category. The bill's defeated. They don't have enough votes. The Republicans have pulled it. That's the big news today here in Washington. And I'm sure millions of you are happy that this is the way it is. And, you know, the rates, they keep talking about how the rates are going up. The rates have been frickin' going up for the last 20 years. The fact is that this piece of legislation for the last 7 years, and that's all the Republicans have been talking about, is getting rid of it. It just goes to show they can't govern. For the last 7 years, it has put a lot of people and saved a lot of lives. That's why they passed it. If you could have been in Washington this week and seen the number of people in wheelchairs that depend on government assistance and Medicaid, these people were fearful because this bill would have ripped $299 billion, and Medicaid, as we know, would have disappeared. Would have disappeared by the year 2026. And what were these people going to do? So I'm just ecstatic over the fact that this bill is not going to take place. Let's go to the phones. 202-909-1492. You're on Ed Schultz Facebook Live. Thanks for calling. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
I've been watching the NFL protest over the last few days, and I feel like that these NFL players are grandstanding because I feel like they're not actually standing for something. I actually don't hear any of these players talking about that Hillary Clinton called black youth super predators, and I feel like that these NFL players are.
Hillary Clinton did what? Hillary Clinton did what? She called what?
She called black youth super predators, and I feel like that.
I don't think that was the context in which she put it in. But if you take it that way, that's the way you take it. The president came out this afternoon with the president of Spain. They held a joint press conference. He took a couple of questions, and the first one was on the NFL. And he says what the players are doing is disgraceful. He wishes that the NFL would implement a policy where the players cannot take a knee. Well, he's going against a big culture in this country, and he's going against the National Football League. But last night, when the Cowboys took a knee, the fans booed them in Phoenix. The Phoenix Cardinals lost to the Cowboys. And Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, also took a knee last night, which is a reversal in position. And he was all over the press conference last night explaining why he reversed his position, saying that the team wanted to come out in a unified manner. Let me tell you, it's interesting that this happened because I was leaving work last night after our show from 8 to 8:30 Eastern time, and I'm going home with my wife, and she says, what's going on with this NFL thing? What do you think the owners are going to do? I said, honey, let me tell you something. The owners care about two things: winning and making money. And the last thing they need is a locker room problem. And if all of the players want to protest, if all of them want to take a knee, an NFL owner is not going to be dictatorial and say you can't do it. He's going to go with where the team is because he doesn't want a locker room problem. He doesn't want a divided team. And it's so easy to see what Jerry Jones did last night. It's easy to reverse a position on this. All he's got to do is take a knee, keep his team together, go out and win a football game, which they did, and make a bunch of money and keep his hopes alive for the playoffs. That's what these owners care about. And Trump he's on an island right now. A lot of these owners supported him in election and also gave him a lot of money. But the fact of the matter is the president pretty much, at least with the NFL players and the owners, he's on an island right now. I have not seen any polling as of yet as to where the American people stand on this. But the president, he didn't back down a bit today. We're going to cover it tonight on the show from 8 to 8:30 on DirecTV, channel 321. You can see it. Let's go back to the phones. 202-909-1492. You're on Facebook Live with Ed Schultz. Hello.
Hi, Ed. My name's Sean. I was just thinking that I really do think that Trump stuck his nose somewhere where it doesn't belong. I don't think it's very surprising to me that all these players were taking a knee, and I don't think the reaction from the fans is surprising as well. And really, the president decided to stick his nose somewhere where it doesn't belong, and now this all has happened. And personally, look, I'm willing to take anyone's season tickets if they're willing to give them up, because I'm still going to root for my team. I think they're expressing their freedom of speech, and I'm sorry if you disagree, but this really
the president today stood his ground. He didn't back down, not an ounce. And he says he thinks it's disgraceful. He wants the league to implement a policy. He thinks it's disrespectful to the flag and to the national anthem. Appreciate your call. 202-909-1492. You're on Facebook Live with Ed Schultz. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
This is Cliff Jones. I'm watching your pod show. I've got a few ideas I'd like to share.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, a simple solution, I think, to our medical situation, why don't we just lower the Medicare age to age 50 and give everybody else Medicaid?
Well, because that would cost money, and the Republicans are all about tax cuts and deregulation, and they believe that it would lead to socialized medicine, and that's not where the Republican conservatives are going to go. What we have learned in all of this is that the Republicans for 7 years did a great job of bad-mouthing something they said they were going to repeal and replace, and they haven't delivered. Now, whether this is going to have an effect on state and local elections remains to be seen. But there's 38 governorships that are going to be decided between now and 2018. This is, I think, going to give the Republicans a better chance of winning those gubernatorial seats now that this bill didn't pass, because they would have to go home and defend it, and it's going to cut a lot of money and hurt a lot of Americans. And so on one hand, it's great for Americans to see that the Affordable Care Act is still intact, whether the rates go up or not. They're going to go up all the time. They can fix that. They're now into the fix mode. But the fact is it would have hurt so many Americans. I think it would have been a real political disaster for the Republicans. Let's go back to the phones. 202-909-1492. Ed Schultz, Facebook Live. Good to have you with us. Hello.
Hey, Ed, this is Kyle calling from Texas. I have a lot of good friends in Puerto Rico, and they're suffering right now. And can we stop talking about this NFL thing for a minute? And can you shout out to Puerto Rico folks? A lot of people in Puerto Rico serve in the military. They're all U.S. citizens, and we need to reach out to them.
Well, you can do that right now. I don't screen these calls. You can pick the topic and have at it. This is Facebook Live. Obviously, I come to this show with just a couple of ideas and bring you up to date on the news. The big news today has been the health care bill. It's not going to happen. The other news is the president responding and standing his ground on the NFL. And the president did talk about Puerto Rico, and he went so far as to say that they're doing a great job in recovery. And the governor of Puerto Rico has complimented Trump himself on this, which I found somewhat astonishing. I think that'll be big headlines tonight. But you're right. The people of Puerto Rico are suffering big time. The Navy is there. The FEMA is there. And you just can't give enough help to these people, no doubt. You got another comment?
That's it. Thanks a lot, Ed. You're the man.
Appreciate it. 202-909-1492. You're on Facebook Live with Ed Schultz. Hello. Thanks for calling.
Yes, this is Cliff Jones again.
Yes, sir.
Several simple ideas that I think could resolve a whole lot of problems, including spending money. to start with, why don't we build a welcome station instead of a wall? Have the people come through, pay whatever fee, get whatever paperwork, go about their business, and have them check back in with the local authorities.
Well, I don't. You're talking about a big bureaucracy there. They're trying to cut costs, and they think the best way to cut costs is to build a fence and get more security.
A welcome station would cost a lot less than a fence.
Well, I don't know. The CBO would have to score that, but it's an idea. Yeah, if that's what you think.
The second question, someone had talked about earlier, calling in about what Hillary had said back in the 90s. Actually, what difference does it make what Hillary or President Obama or anyone said 6 months ago?
You know what?
We need to deal with what's being said.
Yeah,
we need to deal with what's being said and done today.
There's no question about that. Let me just make this comment about Hillary. I'm about ready to throw up on the interviews. She's parading herself to all the cables, all the networks, pimping this book big time. Good for her. And in the midst of all of these interviews, the most important question has not been asked by any of these people who are doing the interviewing of Hillary Clinton. Correct me if I am wrong, but to my knowledge, she has yet to be asked, why in the hell didn't you pick Bernie Sanders for a running mate? It's all about Hillary. It's all about her book. It's all about what happened. What happened is that she didn't pick Bernie Sanders as a running mate, and then she lost. That's what happened. And so I question her judgment on just, how could you make such a mistake? That's the question I'd ask Hillary. Thanks for calling. 202-909-1492. You're on Facebook Live with Ed Schultz. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, my name is Dan.
Hey, Dan.
I want to talk about single payer health care. You know, all this baloney on TV, the politicians keep saying we can't afford it. If we can afford to pay premiums to the insurance companies who pay millions of dollars in salaries and billions in perks, they're making enormous profits. Why can't we put that money into Medicare, let the government have it all, and we'd be in the black in no time. We can afford anything we want in medical procedures.
Well, I have to tell you, it's a clashing of philosophies, political philosophies. What you're saying, the party in power right now would never go for that. They want less government. They don't believe that government can do anything right. It's ironic that you bring this up in that manner. I got my Social Security note in the mail today. And if I'm 63 years old. I'll be 64 in January. And I haven't even thought about taking Social Security. But there's an option for me to do that right now. And the number ain't all that bad. And it's going to be a little bit better if I wait till I'm 66. It's going to be better than that if I wait till I'm 70. And I'm thinking, why in the world would I wait till I'm 70 if Trump is getting ready to nuke the world? Hell, I got to take my Social Security now. So so the government does work. Social Security has worked for 70 years. All this talk about it not being solvent is a bunch of garbage because it's a big curve that's going to eventually come back.
They all know that.
Yeah.
We all know that. You know, I'm 83, so I took my Social Security early too for the same reason.
There you go.
But we can well afford single payer with no problem. I'm a veteran. I go to the VA. I'm living on the socialized medicine right now.
Yeah.
I don't pay for anything. You have two hearing aids, eyeglasses, and we can afford anything we want in medical. If these I call them corporate pimps. I'm sorry.
You sound good. You sound good for 83. The last guy I talked to, 83, couldn't even see straight or talk. You're doing pretty good. See, it's that good that good government care, folks. That's what it is. It's that good government care. He's got it to VA. That's why he's doing well.
That's right. Well, I hope. Who am I talking to, Ed?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm looking at the Facebook, and your lips are not saying the same thing I'm not saying.
Oh, okay.
Did this come on later on?
It's a little bit delayed. No, it's Facebook Live, but because of the cell phone and everything and the internet, it's a little bit delayed. But this is Ed, no doubt about it. I'm the same old guy.
Okay. I wish someone would pass this on to the politicians. And I put it on Twitter and I put it on Facebook.
Okay.
And it's all over the place. But,
all right.
I never hear it.
Good to have you with us. Thank you, sir. You bet. Now, there's a guy that's 83 years old that's doing Facebook and Twitter. I mean, I do know some people of that age that I ain't messing with that. They not. If I'm 83, I don't think I'll be doing this. I mean, I'll be probably fishing. Now it's interesting on the Social Security thing you get. It tells you if you're at this age right now, this is how long you're projected to live. And right now, I'm anywhere between 83 and 90. So I got Larry King time left in the business. I can go till I'm 82 if I want to. 202-909-1492. You can watch the news with Ed Schultz on DirecTV. That's me. 8 to 8:30. Tonight we're going to do a thing on healthcare. We've also got a nice panel for you tonight, and also a follow-up on the NFL and what's going on there. And, of course, a story out of Miami dealing with recovery efforts that are being put together for the folks down in Puerto Rico, which is pretty doggone horrific. Those folks don't have any power. There's shortage of supplies, and it's 90-degree heat. It is brutal, no doubt about it. Thanks for your calls. We're back tomorrow. Ed Schultz, Facebook Live.